Boom! Greetings from YouTubeville. Once again, Danny Savage, Draft Guru, coming at you live Thursday. We're going to start dropping the first of 30 offensive tackles. And honestly, bro, I legit know why, especially this year, that. Wait, hold that thought. If you like the video, sub and subscribe. It don't cost a dime. Wait a second. Technical difficulties, still the best bid on YouTube. But I legit realize why. I mean, a lot of other years, there's no excuse whatsoever. But I understand why this year, why everybody is giving you only like 10 tackles, because it is legit. It is not a strong class, bro. You want an offensive tackle, you better get one early because they're gonna go quick. Also, this is like my bread and butter, bro. I love the trenches on both sides, offense and defense. But I don't know if it's because I'm doing this so long or it's hard to get excited about this class. This class is kind of like going to the strip club on your lunch break, your lunch hour, right? Like they tell the new girls that, or the older veterans, like, yeah, come in at 12. They tell the hot girls to come at night. It's the same thing with the bartenders. You got to realize that bartender, every year you get older, another girl gets younger. So 5 nights, no, now you're down to 3, and then you're down to 2, and then you're down to doing the lunch crowd at the strip club. So it's like walking into a strip club, this offensive tackle class, with a fistful of money, and you got the lunch crowd, strippers, and bartenders. Let me shut up. I do not care how other people do their rankings. I could care less. I do my rankings the way I do them because that's how I see fit. This past Senior Bowl practices, I could be mistaken, but I think they had the Giants, probably one of the worst organizations. Water in my ear should be a song. They had the Giants coaching, and it just seemed like they were on a mission to see if every offensive tackle could play guard. Now, I understand the more things you do, the more valuable you are to an organization. But there's also an acronym, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. If something ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, I'm going to stand pat. I'm going to drop 30 offensive tackles, not all in this one episode, but I'm going to drop 10. And I'm going to stand pat on these my rankings for the other 10. The rest, men's and men's, So my number one offensive tackle is Wyatt Mullen, West Virginia. 6'6", 325, 3-year starter at left tackle. Boom! 0 sacks. Was a state champion wrestler. I hear that. I like that. I like my offensive lineman and my defensive lineman to have a wrestling background because it allows you to use the other person's leverage against them. Plus, if you have a wrestling background, you're gonna watch your nutrition better. You're gonna be in better shape than the average football player. Because listen, bro, I think we all can agree, bro. Bro, you get into a fist fight out in the street, and like 45 seconds to a minute, it feels like you've been there for 3 hours fighting. Same thing goes with boxing, MMA. Those guys are like in tip-top shape, man. It's no exertion flag. All right, so Wyatt Mullen played left tackle at West Virginia for 3 years, 0 sacks. Start of the 2024 season, game 1, West Virginia versus Penn State. Don't take me for it. Just go watch it. Wyatt Mullen up against number 1. He's a linebacker to me. I'm sorry, Abdul Carter. He shut down Abdul Carter. Then, Wyatt Mullen got like a little injury, like in the 3rd quarter, and came out. But he legit shut down Abdul Carter when he had snaps against him. The kid is 6'6", 325, but it seems like some teams are on a mission to see if he can be their next guard. I don't know why. I truly don't know why. It just shows you how I can only rank what I see. Once a player goes to an organization, they either build him up or they destroy him. At that point, it's out of my hands. Next kid is a beast, bro. He's a straight beast. Kelvin Banks, left tackle, University of Texas. 6'5", 330, 3-year starter since he was a true freshman. I'm going to comp this kid to like a Trent Williams, bro. This kid is like, bro, 6'5", 330, legit, as wide as a refrigerator, long arms, meat hooks. When he gets his hands on you, bro, it's pretty much over. Yo, if anyone wants to see some really, really great battles, check out listen, I said it before the season started. I said Texas had the best offensive line in the nation. And across the board, from A to Z, they did. Watch Kelvin Banks and Mikal Williams from Georgia battle it out. Bro. My opinion, too. I think he's just a left tackle and leave him there. All these guys like to play with stuff, man. It's like a chef. Leave the chef alone. Let him cook. Don't be going in the kitchen and start throwing shit into the recipe. It messes things up. This is people, though, like I've said a million times, this is not a hard game. It's basic X's and O's. But it seems like we have people that never ever played the game, and they're trying to reinvent the wheel. Leave it alone. Offensive tackle number 3. He pretty much started the season off as the number 1 tackle, and it seems like he's come down a bit. People are shitting on him because his arms are like an inch shorter than other people. It just shows you yet these people get paid millions and millions of dollars. to make these decisions. Will Campbell, left tackle, LSU, 6'6", 330, boom, 3-year starter. Big, strong country kid, comes from a farm. Same thing with Wyatt Mullen. They just big old southern corn-fed, working on a farm all day, bro, laying pipe and building fences, bro. These kids know what it is for hard work. Will Campbell, I stepped in as a true freshman, left tackle, bam. Started left tackle the last 3 years. It seems like some teams are on a mission to see if he can play guard. I will agree it is a below average offensive tackle class. So if you want one, you better get one quick. Now, like, some people might throw Josh Simmons into the mix right now from Ohio State. Now it gets a little tricky. For me, though, number 4 is Josh Connolly, offensive tackle, Oregon. 6'5", 320. And when he played in one of the playoff games, the championship games, they ran right at Abdul Carter. Or I should say it better, they ran right over Abdul Carter. Bro, he's not an edge, people. Remember that. Abdul Carter's a linebacker. Have we learned nothing from Michael Parsons? But big kid, 6'5", 320, long-ass arms, big-ass hands. Started a long time. Oregon's going to show up twice in my top 10 list. Like I said, I don't know if I've just been doing this so long, but I could have went the easy route and dropped 30 defensive tackles today, tomorrow. But no, I'm going the hard route with the offensive line. And I've said it this entire year. It's a below average offensive line class in general. It is what it is, man. It happens. It's a below average quarterback class. It happens, man. Number 5. A lot of people are high on this kid. Higher than I am. Arante Isere, left tackle, Minnesota. Big kid. 6'6", 340. He played left tackle in college. In my opinion, he's a right tackle in the NFL. He gets kind of like cute with his pass blocking, where dudes can throw a few different moves at him. And once he's expecting like an outside pass rush, boom, the guy just steps inside and he gets beat to the inside a lot, in my opinion. But he's a big dude, like I said, 6'6", 340. I said this yesterday. I have no clue what they feed these dudes in Minnesota, bro. I truly don't, man. If I know, all right, I know in the football world, there's a lot of guys that are wrestling fans too. If you ever saw the wrestlers that came out of Minnesota, the Road Warriors, Mr. Perfect, Rick Rude, Scott Norton, the Barbarian, bro, Demolition. Bro, there was like 10. Jesse Ventura. These kids all went to like the same 2 high schools, bro. JV, good afternoon. What's your thoughts on Holland Pierce? I love Holland Pierce. He did not make my top 10, but Holland Pierce walked on to Rutgers, 6'9", 6'8", 6'8", like 450. He just says, "Hi, I'm here. I want to play football." They go, "Yo, Greg Schiano, there's a big dude outside and he wants to play." All right, let's see what you got. All right, he had what it had, had what it took. They offered him a scholarship. He lost 100 pounds. So anyone that goes on a diet knows that it's not that easy. But also, when you're that size, the initial weight, he probably had about 30 pounds of water on him. Came off quick, and then he worked his body weight down to 350. He's a 3-year starter. He started right tackle his first year. So they got him down to 350, 6'8", 350. He started right tackle his first year, and then for the past 2 seasons, they've swung him out to left tackle. Bro, I'm showing my age. Years ago, so it was called it would take a $30 cab ride to get around a person. That's how big he is. He's just a ridiculously big individual. 6'8", 350, monster hands. He can tie his sneakers standing up. Uh I think he has to, when he gets like tired or lazy, he tends to lunge a little bit. I would like him to stay lower. By no means is he a finished product, but he's one big bad ball of clay that some offensive line coach is going to look at and say, "Get me that kid." I also see him only as a right tackle in the NFL. Also, if he gets exposed on an island at right tackle, I don't have a problem sliding. I won't. I personally wouldn't give up on that kid until if I saw him fail at right guard. I would even throw him into right guard. So, but he just barely missed my top 10. I'm being honest with you. Next kid at number 6, Anthony Belton, NC State. Just a big ass monster of an individual. 6'6", 345. He stepped right in a few years ago at NC State when NC State had Ike Akwamu and everybody was going crazy over him. And Carol, shut up. That's what happens when you live in the city. Uh, Icky went to Carolina. I'm not a Carolina Panthers fan. I'm going to be honest with you. Once people go into the NFL and they're not on my team, unless they do something good or bad, I really don't. But he stepped right in for him. In my opinion, I think Anthony Belton is a better, I can say better, I would say safer right. I, I would throw him on the right side first. Like I said, bro, it is, and I've said this all year, it's a below average offensive line class, and that's across the border. Like I said, I don't know if I've just been doing it all these years, or it's just I can't get excited about a lot of these guys. But it seems a lot of guys in the NFL are saying the same thing. So, if you want a tackle, you better get one early. You want a left tackle, you better get one early because once they're gone, they're gone. Next kid, Oregon again. Ajane, what is? Well, I feel sorry for these kids. They were in kindergarten. Cornelius, Oregon, 6'5", 320. Funny story, bro. But I used to work with a dude And we all knew him as Bobby. This is a different Bobby. But don't ask me why. But his name was Cornelius. And like the one kid, he's like, bro, your name ain't Bobby. Your name's Cornelius. What the fuck? Like, where do you get Bobby out of? I guess he was embarrassed of his name. I'm going back 25 years ago, 26 years ago. He's a good kid, bro. Good kid, man. Jesus, we're in our 50s, bro. Good dude. Good dude. He's in Florida now. Owns a gym. This kid, Ajane Cornelius, 6'5", 320, Oregon. Offensive tackle with guard flexibility. You're going to laugh, as crazy as it sounds. It seems like every single one of these kids have some guard flexibility, or the coaching staff just made it like, you ever see when you was a kid, the round hole, the square things, they just pounded it in to see if they're gonna fit. Here's another kid I'm just not that big on. I'm sorry, I'm not. Armand Mibu, offensive tackle, Missouri, or as other people would say, misery. But they got big ass deer in Missouri. Shorter side, 6'4", 330, wide, does have long arms. I'm sorry. That's not an offensive tackle to me. It's not. He's not. He's a guard. He's a guard. Him and the Purdue kid, they're blowing him up, blowing it up, blowing him up. I just don't see it. That's why I'm going to put my 10 down. My top 10 is going to be different from so many other people's top 10. Am I right all the time? Absolutely not. Nobody is. If I was right all the time, I could pick the lottery numbers. Can't do that. I see this kid, he's more of a guard, crazy as it sounds. Another kid, he should be higher. The reason he's just lower is because he tore his knee up during the season. They're saying he's going to be ready. I'm sorry, man. To me, a knee injury in the NFL, it takes 2 years until you're 100%. All these dudes sitting back in their chairs, never had a callus on their hand in their life, never played a sport in their life besides swimming. And swimming's not a sport. You swim so you don't fucking drown. So don't let anyone ever tell you swimming is a sport. They're just like, yeah, let's rush him back in a couple of months. Bro, it's a 2-year injury until you're 100%. It just, when people talk about, yeah, we're going to put him back in 4 months, it just puts a tip on themselves. They've never played a sport. They've never had surgeries. His name is Josh Simmons. Left tackle, Ohio State. 6'5", 320. Yo, in the past few years, Ohio State's been putting out some monsters. Just off the top of my head, I'm claiming, I could be wrong, but I'm claiming he was originally a San Diego State kid, and then he transferred to Ohio State. Tore his knee up, I think maybe the 4th or 5th game of the season. He's saying he's going to be back, but I also just think, like I said, it's a below average offensive line class. He is a left tackle, 100%. Has long arms, but is he going to be 100% healthy this year? I'm saying no. So that's the only reason why he's a little bit down on my list. There's other dudes that have this kid at 4. They just don't watch football and just, open up a book and be like, oh, this person has him as. And I'm going to be honest with you, and this is also just me nitpicking, but I'm going to give you both sides of the coin. If I'm going to compare Josh Simmons of Ohio State to the past 3-4 years of Ohio State offensive tackles, he's going to be at the end of that list, bro. I could be wrong, but I'm mostly right. Just hope his knee gets better and they give him enough time. Next is, it happens every year, we get a kid from North Dakota who's a giant. Gray Zabel, North Dakota State. 36 starts to his credit. Played left tackle in college. He went to the Senior Bowl, and they basically played this kid at center. They played him at guard. They played him at tackle. Got a shitload of reps because everybody was saying that they wanted to go up against him. He probably played a little bit later into the season because I believe North Dakota, whatever division they're in, they won their national championship again. But like I said, you have to be careful with a lot of these bowl games, like the Shrine, the Senior Bowl, because you have one set of kids who played in a game 2 weeks ago, and you have other kids that haven't played a game for 2 months that have been practicing and healing their body every single day for that week. Big old country kid. Did he look great on the snaps he had? Yes. I'm sorry. When I see those drills, the Senior Bowl, the East West Shrines, the one-on-ones, that drill favors the defensive lineman. If anyone noticed a big difference from one-on-ones until the team practices, you would know what you're talking about. Some drills favor the offense, some drills favor the defense. But always, it seems like for the last decade, we get some big ass kid from North Dakota, South Dakota, cuts his shirt off, and it just shows you, bro. Don't matter where you went, if you can play, they will find you, and you can get an invitation. But like I said, bro, I just can't. I can't get excited about this offensive line group in general. Like I said, 90% of them, 95% of them all have guard flexibility. It's just a below average year for offensive line. And we just started with the tackles, bro. I got 20 more. Oof. But there's a couple of guys I like later. There's a couple of guys I like. Listen, bro, it seems like, don't ask me why. But okay, like I said, I'm a Cowboy fan. But it seems like for some reason, Dallas has to get their offensive lineman in the first round because if they don't, they just can't develop them. I don't get it, bro. What's up with the scouting department, bro? What is wrong with the coaching? Well, think about it. We had Connor Williams. Not that he was all great, and he had flaws and was not as strong as everyone else, but we did not do that kid any justice either. He went on to Miami to play a few years. Then we drafted Connor McGovern, Penn State center and guard. Could have snapped the ball in Texas, but then he goes to the Bills. They throw like a $40 million contract on him. Snapping the ball in Buffalo, not a problem. I know we do have a new offensive line coach, but you should be able to develop people. And when we were at our best in the 90s, the highest ranked offensive lineman was Larry Allen, who was a second round pick out of Sonoma State, but he came on towards the end. Eric Williams was a third round pick out of NAIA, Central Ohio. Mark Stepnoski was a third round pick out of Pitt, who was a guard. Then he switched to center. Left guard was Big Nate. Nate Newton was an undrafted free agent out of Florida A&M. Mark Tuinei was an undrafted free agent defensive tackle out of Florida and UCLA for his first 5 years, then switched to left tackle. And then we had seventh round pick Kevin Gogan, who was just a monster individual. So amazing creations. Thank you for jumping in. What's up, Danny? You're right. Because remember, Nate Newton was undrafted. Yeah, he should be a Hall of Famer, 100%. Nate Newton belongs in the Hall of Fame. Eric Williams belongs in the Hall of Fame. And I'm sorry, in today's world of all social media, if a kid was on a team for 5 years as a defensive tackle and somebody said, hey, let's switch him to left tackle, bro, they'd light that dude on fire, but they'd tar and feather him. They'd throw him out of the building. But that's what Mark Tuinei did. He got invited to Dallas with 100 other guys. I think it was either he was the only one or maybe there was 5 of them left. He made the team but was buried behind Randy White as a defensive tackle. And then they're like, yo, let's make the switch. See if he can play left tackle. And he was going up against some crazy edges, and I never seen them giving him help. He was one-on-one. If the Mark Tuinei story happened now, also rest in peace to Mark and Larry Allen, but if the Mark Tuinei story happened now in the era of social media and all this shit, Mark Tuinei would be a Hall of Famer also. It's just the world we live in. The NFL is catering to the Swifties, and it is what it is, man. Jimmy was a genius. Absolutely. Jimmy Johnson was the best coach talent evaluator I personally ever saw. But as crazy as that sounds, when Jimmy got to Dallas, Tuinei was already on the team, Nate Newton was already on the team, and Kevin Gogan was already on the team. But it just shows you with coaching and not what to do with players, you screw things up. Also, like Jimmy drafted Eric Williams, but they also tried Eric Williams at left tackle, and he got destroyed. They put him to right tackle. Bad man. Bad man. Played with bad intentions. He just didn't want to beat you. He wanted to demoralize you. I'll still say it, bro. Don't care. It's not all about numbers, man. Uh, I don't just think because a certain player has certain numbers, you can say he's the best at a position. So, am I going to say Eric Williams? Am I going to say Emmitt Smith is the best running back of all time? No, I'm not. I'm sorry, bro. Is he in the top 10? Yeah, top 5, yeah. But listen, and anyone who like wants to trash me, there's actually a Dallas documentary called The Great Wall of Dallas. I challenge anybody. Go watch it. And these are people in the documentary. And the one dude flat out says, for the majority, I find most of Emmett's runs kind of boring. The beauty was the holes, and he wasn't getting touched for 10 yards downfield. Listen, bro, Emmett was a complete back. He could block, he could come out of a backfield, catch a pass, but I mean, you know what it was? I guess it was the right offensive line, the best offensive line I ever saw, period, play, and the best running back at that time, which was Emmitt Smith, and it just all came together. Then, the offensive line kind of got older. Then the Flozell Adams came in. Solomon Pages came in. For everyone who thinks they know Dallas football, they have no idea the people that I'm even talking about. Stepnoski left, then he came back. We had Derek Kennard in at center. We had Ron Stone at center. We had John Giesick, then we had Gogan, then we had Larry Allen. And once Larry Allen came, Eric Williams. Listen, I don't want to hear about the car accident, bro. Don't want to hear about the car accident. Reggie White is considered probably one of the best defensive linemen of all time, if not. Do you like any of our new off-season additions? What additions? We signed bodies with yeah, he has a temperature. Let's sign him. Bro, perfect example. We gave this kid Solomon Thomas out of Stanford a 2-year, $8 million deal. He's a top 5 pick. The San Fran took him a few years ago, defensive tackle. Legit, he was like a top 5 pick. Bust. Then he went to the Jets, and we hired one of their coaches. So we signed him to a 2-year, $8 million deal. Bosa got $12 million for 1 year in Buffalo. But if you go by the taxes in New York versus, first of all, in Texas, there's no state tax. In Texas, right off the bat, you're playing 9 games tax-free because you're playing 8 home games, and then you play in Philly for 1. That's Pennsylvania. There's no state tax in Pennsylvania. So right off the bat, 9 games, there's no state tax, and then we could play around with workout bonuses and all shit like that. So there's ways to get around all that shit. You probably could have paid Bosa $8 million, $9 million, $8 million, maybe less, like 7.5, and he'd walk away with more money versus playing in New York. New York, if you make 6 figures, they destroy you. Bro, the guy's at 7 figures, bro. Bro, and then they have like this athlete tax, luxury tax. Yo, you get murdered taxes in New York. Yeah, so no, listen, bro, I did a video the other day just pretty much laughing because all these channels are like, yeah, free agency starts. Like it was the fucking start of the Kentucky Derby. We're like, yeah, come on, go, drop, start running. I'm like, what are you guys waiting for, bro? Dallas doesn't, we don't do nothing for free agency, bro. I'm like, I had my aluminum hat on. I'm like, why the fuck is everyone excited about free agency? It's been a decade since we signed Greg Hardy and paid him $10 million for like 1 year. A decade. free agency is not JB, the Cowboys fan. Boom. Thank you for jumping in the chat. Also, Amazing Creations, JVS21. Also, listen, I will also say free agency is not the way to build a team, but it's a way to get that 1 to 2 mercenaries just for like 1 2 year deal that'll get you over the top. Unfortunately, Dallas just signs. Oh shit! Yeah, he has a pulse. Can't body. Like, I'm sorry, I can't get excited about Javonte Williams, running back out of Denver. There's going to be 35 running backs this year drafted that are better than him. He's RB3. I'm sure Rico's going to sign with somebody else for a lot more than $3 million. Rico's probably going to get 5, 6, about 5, 6, 7 mil on the open market. And if he goes to the right team, don't be shocked. He has a good season. But I'm sorry, I'm old school. 1,000 yards, six. You got to realize, years ago, it was a 12-game season. Then it went to 16. So 1,000 yards at 16 games. That's comical to me. I never understood how that was the benchmark about her. I ran for 1,000 yards. Bro, you had 16 games. I'm horrible at math, horrendous. But we should have kept Rico. You mean Uncle? Uncle Rico, you mean him, right? We should have kept Uncle Rico. Listen, do I like Rico Dowell? Yes. Jaw Jaw. Boom. Thank you for jumping in the chat. I like Rico Dowell. Absolutely. Any other year, I would have said, yeah, we should have signed him. This year, Rico Dowell already signed with the Panthers. Yeah, he's going to get killed down there. But how much did they pay him? This year, I would not have signed him because, bro, there's a legit 30 to 35 running backs that are going to get drafted. When you see the running backs come off the board day 3, I can't put that money into Rico. I'm sorry. Like I said, the draft is like going grocery shopping. You might need chicken, but there ain't no chicken. But they got filet mignon on sale for 99 cents. Let's load up on filet mignon. This is probably one of the deepest running back classes I've ever seen in my life. I'm also going to say this is probably one of the deepest defensive line. And when I say, I'm going to say defensive tackles and defensive edges, especially defensive tackles I've probably ever seen in my life. It is what it is. Let's get to corners. Below average corner, very below average corner, yeah. Safeties, it's good. Very good tight end class. My linebacker class is good. That's why, because I'm looking at guys at linebackers. And now this is a monster defensive line class, and 2 of the top guys, they're linebackers. They're in my linebacker class, and it's still a crazy, crazy defensive line class. So, drop 10 tackles. Got to get to 30. Got to get to 20 more. Listen, man, I'm giving you 30 at each position, but like I said, you want to play with these calling channels, ask them who they like next year. They don't even know who they like this year. It's with the trend. I'm looking for like all these dudes I had written down and I did research on and I scouted them. And I'm like, where are they? Where are they? They're in the portal. Telling you, bro, watch out for Texas Tech next year. They're assembled. They got that monster oil money. All them boosters. They're buying up so much talent. Watch out for Texas Tech, bro. And it's not like they're playing in a hard division. Uh, they just don't play defense in the Big 12. But Texas Tech got the money, got all those oil boosters, and they're spending a lot of money. This past year's Ohio State class that won the national championship, $31 million that class got paid in NIL money. And dudes even went back. That's the smart thing, bro. They're gonna offer you $2-3 mil to play linebacker, go to hang out with cheerleaders, go to sorority parties. First going to the NFL and blowing your knee out on the first play. Can you blame them? There are 20 running backs in the draft better than Javonte Williams and Rico Dowd. I'd probably say more. I'd probably say a good 25 to 30. It is a ridiculous. Listen, if the Dallas Cowboys took Gentry at 12, would I be mad? Am I going to throw my pencil? I mean, my marker? No, I give a fuck less. You know what I'm trying to say? He's a good running back, but it's going to take 3-4 years to get the talent. Would I draft him at 12? No, I wouldn't draft any running back at 12. Because I don't care who you are, if you're getting tackled 3 yards in the backfield, you have O.J. Simpson, Adrian Peterson back there. If you have the courses up front to make anybody look good, people don't realize that, man. And it is a sick running back class. I legit have like 35 running backs. Monsters. And a lot of these dudes are day 3. Yeah, man. Like, perfect example, man. What was it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Bijan Robinson. Did Bijan Robinson turn around the Atlanta Falcons? No. Why, might you ask? Why? Who? Because the team has a million other holes. Ask everyone this past year who drafted Bijan Robinson. Like I'm telling you, fantasy football has ruined a lot of football, but ask everyone who drafted Bijan Robinson how they feel about him. He was in a running back by committee league with Tyler Algier, I believe, out of BYU. So they would use Bijan, and then they would get down inside the 10. All right, Tyler, come in. You're going to get all the touchdowns. But I'm sorry, I said it then. I'll say it now. Bijan Robinson, to me, was not a north-south running back. He's more of an east-west kind of guy to me. That's just my 2 cents. Everyone has their opinion. Now, you put Bijan Robinson on Philadelphia, yeah, he's going to rush for 2,000 yards. Kansas City, Chiefs need to do some offensive line work. You put Bijan Robinson on the Ravens, yeah, now you're talking teams with offensive line. Mason Graham, make it 12. I don't think Mason Graham gets out of the top 3 or 4, man. If he gets past 4 to 5, that would shock me, man. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. In round 1, and I'm gonna go. I last year I went with Marvin Harrison as my safest pick. This year I'm gonna say there's 2 kids that are the safest picks. In round one, my two safest picks is number one, Mason Graham, defensive tackle, Michigan, 6'3", 330, all-state wrestler. For the last 3 years, uno, dos, tres, he's been Michigan's best defensive tackle. When he was a true freshman and Maxi Pad was a senior, Mason Graham was better than Maxi Pad. Last year, when Jenkins was on the field, I'm like, why am I watching Jenkins? This kid's blowing him away. I've been saying for the last 3 years, Mason Graham is the best defensive tackle on Michigan. Because you see the difference in me versus the guys that come on and just like want to be car salesmen. When I say car salesman, I mean just like feed you a lot of shit. Is I actually watch football. They just look up on the computer stats and shit like that. Mason Graham, Tyler Warren are my two safest picks. Tyler Warren's a tight end out of Penn State. I don't see him getting out of. I don't even see him getting to 12, to be honest with you. I don't. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I also could see 3 tight ends going in round one. It is what it is. Mason Graham at 12 would be great. What D tackle would be worth the 12th pick? In my world, D tackle, just Mason Graham. Now, if we're talking edges, we can go another route with that. If Mikel Williams, edge, Georgia, 6'6", 265, he's on the board at 12, I'm doing backflips and I'm running with that card. And, bro, he's 6'6", 265, 20 years old, bro. He played 1 tech, 3 tech, 5 tech, 7. He played everywhere, bro. Had an ankle injury, limited him to only had a 5-sack season. He's my number one edge, my Kyle Williams edge, Georgia. But he played defensive tackle too. But at the next level, he's an edge. But he's my number one edge. He's my number one edge. But on my only defensive tackle at 12, I think is worth the 12th pick, is Mason Graham. Uncensored Cowboy, same thing as BJ happened with Kyle Pitts. Skill positions can't get it done when they don't have the foundation of your team. It's a fact, bro. That Dallas was even talking about Jerry Jones. But see, Jerry just does that for clickbait too, bro. It's amazing, man. Like, we all knew we were going to get Kyle Pitts. Let's be honest. And then also, like, okay, then actually Atlanta gets a quarterback this year. Granted, has he seen better years? Yeah. Kirk Cousins has seen better years. But still, Kyle Pitts, they thought Kyle Pitts was going to be the next, Tony Gonzalez, the next, Antonio Gates. He has all the tools. But one thing, and I said it back then, I wasn't a fan of Kyle Pitts' run blocking. I'm telling you, man. The difference between a college tight end and an NFL tight end is, can you run block? Because there's a million dudes that are athletic that can go out and catch a pass. Can you block? That's the difference. It starts and ends in the trenches. And unfortunately, let's be honest, bro. That's Dallas's. Like I said, I'm a Cowboy fan, but we don't even have trenches, bro. We don't even have a defensive line. We don't. And is that being negative? No. That's being honest. Our offensive line is a mess. Terrence Steele is a waste. He gave up 10 sacks last year. I think he's due to make 18 million. Right guard. All right, so I guess we're going to put Tyler. We're going to put Hoffman at right guard. This is last year because they're going to put him to right guard for this year, and then some team next year is going to offer him like an $80 million deal. So they'll put Hoffman at guard so he can show off and be gone. You know, you leave BB at center, but now even by doing that, you have no depth. You have to spend position. You have to spend draft capital on offensive line this year, unless you find him in free agency, but we can't do that either. Me personally, I would cut Terrence Steele. I would move Tyler Guyton to right tackle. And then I would pray one of those three guys, one of my three top. It's a short list this year for offensive tackles. I would pray one of those three falls to 12. Listen, there's gonna be one. Yo, I believe we got Micah at 12. There is gonna be a super. There is gonna be a 5-star player slip. It happens every year. You always have some team in the top 5, top 10 that takes it. It's like, come on, bro. All you dudes that do fantasy football, you always got that one geek that sits in the corner with his computer and like he'll fuck up the first round. Like he'll be like an Atlanta fan. Perfect example. It'll be like he'll have the 6th pick in the first round, and he'll be like Kyle Pitts. That happens the same thing with the NFL. You always have one team that throws a pick at in the top 10, and you're like, where the fuck, excuse my language, where the hell did that come from? I had a 5th round grade on that guy. Some team, yeah, we got to get him in round one. Fantasy football, listen, I've said this before. The NFL draft is fantasy football for billionaires, for the ones that take it serious. For the Joneses, it's just a brand. Drafting tight ends is the final round. Hasn't worked out the last decade or so. Jump off if you want to. You see, okay, 805 Vaughn. When you say jump off if you want to, it's really easy for Dak Prescott to say that after Jerry Jones paid him $500 million. Let me repeat that again. $500 million. Would Dak Prescott have said, jump off if you want to, before he got paid that $500 million? $500 million? So, bro, first of all, he doesn't look like a killer to me, but he's a quarterback, so it is what it is. But you want to talk shit to the fans after they gave you, after Jerry paid you $500 million, you say jump off if you want to. You think he would have said that if he was a rookie? The second he got his second contract, he walked differently, he dressed differently, he talked differently. And I said it. And yo, it happens. Happens to people that wins the lottery, bro. They get money and boom, they change. But that just shows you also your character, because you shouldn't. You should always remember your roots. You should always remember where you come from, because on your way up are the same people you're going to see on the way down. You see what Philly, amazing creations. You see what Philly did to Chris Jones in the Super Bowl, and I hate Philly. Guyton belongs on the right tackle position. Philly has the best offensive line and defensive line in the NFL. Ironically, Philly has like 16 draft picks this year. Last year, they made all their picks and accumulated like 7 more. They traded 3 away for Jahan Dotson. That turned out to be like a bust. But then they got like 4 more comp picks. So they got 4 more comp picks plus the 3 they got from going trading up and down, up and down. Philly has like 16 draft picks this year. Crazy. And we're giving ours. Bro, today's Thursday. Comp picks came out Tuesday, and Dallas was giving comp picks away already on Wednesday. It's like they were burning a hole in their pocket. Check the record. We are not far off. Not far off. I'm telling you, bro. You heard it here. Aaron Rodgers bought a $7 million mansion about 5 miles from Giant Stadium when he's been with the Jets. You think he wants to get up and move? Giants have very, very, very good skill positions. Giants have a very good defense, young defense, especially on the interior D line. Giants got to throw some money and some picks at the offensive line. I'll agree there. They got a good running back, Tyrone Tracy, and they're gonna get more running backs this year. Aaron Rodgers goes to the Giants. Dallas is the worst team in the NFC East for 2025. And I said that March 13 at 14:21 hours. And guys are talking playoffs. Bro, we have no running backs. We have a $140 million wide receiver who suddenly can't catch balls. A tight end who's regressed. It seems like, I don't want to pick on him, but it seems like Jake Ferguson regressed a little bit. Could have been banged up. It is what it is. So now, and this blows my mind. We have no identity. But last year, we got the highest paid quarterback, the second highest paid wide receiver, but now we got a new coaching staff, and now our new identity is we want to run the ball. So why'd you just pay your quarterback $250 million, and why'd you pay the top receiver 140 if now you want to run the ball, yet your offensive line is in shambles and you have no running backs on your team? Listen, bro, I know I come at it with the players, but I've said it before a million times here. The cancer starts on top, and it's the Joneses. And honestly, we're at a point where it's not even Jerry anymore. Do you honestly think Jerry knows what fucking day it is? He knows what day it is by what color Jello they give him or what color ice cream they give him. He doesn't fucking know. And that's not goofing on him, but we all have older relatives, if you're lucky in your life. You know what I'm saying? Bro, you forgot playing the division. Oof. That's what I'm saying. Like you got to realize all these other teams are trying to get better also. The Redskins got Laremy Tunsil. Redskins are going to get a running back this year. Redskins are going to get a wide receiver. Redskins are going to throw some more picks at that O-line. Listen, honestly, does anyone in this chat see Dallas beating Philadelphia? Well, honestly. I'm just putting Dak quotes up so we can laugh. Yeah, it is funny. It's sad, man. It truly is. Okay, but Dak is a fool and he sucks and he will get hurt again next year. He's far from a fool. He fleeced Jerry out of $500 million. Far from a fool. Smart man. Listen, what do you expect? Listen, I say the good, I say the bad. For him to say we close and like everybody want to jump on him, what do you expect, bro? Let me ask you. Like I keep it real here because I just do. But let's be honest. If your boss just gave you a check for $250 million guaranteed, I'd be. What do you want me to say? I'd be saying the exact same fucking thing. Well, I'm not. Why don't you stop bashing him? I mean, either way, the money's guaranteed. So at least he's gonna say, "Yeah, we're close." But we all know in the back of his head when he was on the sidelines to Trey Lance when he goes, "We fucking suck." You know that's what he's thinking. It's Dallas is just a circus, bro. It's a circus. Same circus, different clowns. And it all starts and ends with the Joneses. Sad, 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 sad. Nope, 5-12 this season, Danny. You are. I'm saying 3 to 4 wins, but whatever. Rookie Dak I liked, but he was still mid. Listen, I liked Rookie Dak too. I went out and bought his jerseys for my sons. I was like, yo, I like him. I like him. He has it. He had poise, especially for a rookie. When I saw the game against Seattle in the playoffs, where, excuse me, in preseason, where Romo broke his back, I seen Dak come in, and I got God rest his soul. I get right on the phone with my dad. I'm like, yo, you watching this? I'm like, yo, this kid, there's something to this kid. Like he had very poise. He wasn't jittery. He had listen, the it that he doesn't have now, but that it he did have it his rookie season. He did. He was surrounded with great talent, but he had it his rookie season. But I also think in the playoff game against Green Bay, they should have took him out and put Romo in there because Romo was a gunslinger. But Romo, he sucked also too. But it is what it is. Rookie Dak, I liked. Mask. When he was mobile, he's not the same. He's far from being the same. And I've said, you okay, Vaughn, I've said the exact same thing you just said. And yet people come up to me and say, oh, yes, it just made him a better pocket passer. Are you serious, bro? Have you ever seen Dak when he overthrows CD Lamb or Cooks? It's not by 6 inches. He overthrows his wide when he has his bad throws. He overthrows his wide receivers by like 6 feet, 10 feet. Legit. Dak Prescott is the only quarterback in the history of my life that I've seen content creators break down his interceptions. This one, the sun was in his eye. This one, his shoelace was untied. This one, the grass was 2 inches too high for the wide receiver. This one, the wide receiver ran the route one step too many. Sticking up for him, bro. These same snake oil content creators that do that, know what I challenge them? Well, listen, I'm not a big computer guy, but I'm sure there's some geek who can probably pull the stats up quick. The same guys that do that, these Dallas Cowboys snake oil salesmen, are the same guys that say Tank Lawrence was well worth 150 million plus to stop the run because he got a lot of pressures. All right, follow me. There's a kid in this coming draft. He's he can honestly play defensive tackle or defensive end. Shamar Stewart, Texas A&M. He's in my top 3, top 4. He's either going to get someone fired or promoted. The kid is an absolute freak. In 3 seasons, he's had 5.5 sacks. But last year, he had 44 pressures. And I said he's a perfect Cowboy fit because our fan base would be like, yo, let's get him. He's only going to have 1 sack, but he'll get 44 pressures. So I would love, okay, you can pressure a quarterback and he's going to roll out, still complete the pass. You can pressure a quarterback, he's going to roll out, still throw a touchdown. You could pressure a quarterback, he could throw the ball and be completed. You could pressure the quarterback, he could throw the ball an interception. So all the guys that stuck up for Dak so much about his interceptions, I would love for somebody to break down Tank Lawrence's pressures, but how many of those pressures still led to completed passes? So let's be honest. Is it the goal to get a sack? Because we don't know a sack's a sack. It's behind the line of scrimmage. Whenever you get a quarterback down behind the line of scrimmage, that counts as a sack. But a pressure is a pressure. So you're going to pay your edge $150 million, $200 million just to get pressures? Only in Dallas. Don't get me started, man. He has a good story, but all these guys have stories. Yeah, everyone has stories. Pressures don't matter unless you're getting a quarterback on the ground. I completely agree with you. Let me tell you, there was one quarterback though. When we were good, bro, we had his number. Was Brett Favre, man? Because we used to blitz up the middle, and I'm telling you, man, Brett Favre in his early years, bro, he could not pass on the run. Dallas would blitz him up the middle, and he'd be running for his life, either to the left or to the right, and we had their number for a few years. And they beat us. It is what it is, bro. So I apologize. This video went lot longer than I thought it would be. Dropped 10 offensive tackles, and like I said, this offensive tackle class is like pretty much going to the strip bar at lunch, the lunchtime crowd. It's a below average offensive line year. You want an offensive tackle, you better get them early. There are quite a few developmental guys, day one starters. I see 3. Being honest, man. Thank you, everybody that jumped into the chat, because we all know when you're rocking with the GWO, it's for life. Over and out. Dropping another video later.